Okay, so I have this mid-wit friend, and you've got them too, right? So you've got friends that get it, they get you, they get the way the world works. You see eye to eye on a lot of different things. You come from similar backgrounds or politically the same or similar, and you know how to research the utter crap out of things that you care about. And then you've got your dumb friends where you hang out, you do the things that you do. So you have lunch, you talk about, what do I even talk about with these people? I don't know, because I don't do it that often. And then you've got the mid-wits. So the mid-wits can carry a conversation on with you, and they are intelligent enough to have an opinion and have formed an opinion that they believe is learned. But when it comes down to, say, an intense discussion, they're reaching for articles from the mainstream media and parroting mainstream media talking points and quote-unquote facts that side is putting out. And you're going, okay, well, I've read this paper, and this is from this uni, and this is from this thing, and this is from this person's anecdotal evidence, and this is also from this scientific paper. Because there's so many articles parroting the same thing, and they all borrow from each other, the person that you're discussing things with, and if you want to show them proof of something and vice versa, they've got a wealth behind them. They can just pick anything. They can grab the first page of Google Skynet and get whatever they want to say to back up what they're saying. 25,000 articles all borrowing from each other and all linking to each other as sources can't be wrong. And I've seen a lot of pictures and memes over the years and things that say, no, these people have had their time. We have tried to help them. We've tried to let them know how to approach a situation. Maybe you want to think about this differently. Here's an alternative source. Maybe you want to look at this. We've spent years trying to help them, trying to wake them up. And if they want to stay asleep, that's them. That's on them now. This is not your responsibility. Carry on, sort out your own life, live a beautiful life as much as you can on this earth right now, and just leave these people in the dust because they're not worth it. And I had a friend that used to say that to me, and I was quite shocked. This was about 10 years ago or something. And I was quite shocked because he was very philosophical. He was into history. He studied theological texts. He was always up for a debate or to tell us about this new knowledge that he found out, and then he was researching. And for him to sort of say, yeah, look, these people are, yeah, they're dead, just don't even worry about it, just move on. I was really shocked because I thought him of all people would want to share this with other people, with strangers, and say, hey guys, look, just if you point your direction this way, just for 5 minutes, you can see this whole other universe. But over the years, I've come to know that he's correct. And I'm going to tell you about story time this week. And this is kind of a microcosm. It's not very important or anything like that. It's just kind of a very small example of what you're up against sometimes. And it's kind of funny and dumb and look, it's content. Shut up. Okay, so I'm on social media, God knows why, and I see that a friend has posted this thing, and it's that he shared a quote from a well-known ex-action star who is very famous, has been famous for decades, has put out a lot of movies, and who is now an American politician. And it was a quote about how he was helping people with mental health, or it was very important or something like that. And for me, I've grown up with an inherent dislike for this person. When I was younger, and siblings and cousins and friends and stuff were watching his action movies, like, yeah, hell yeah, get the bad guys and stuff. And I couldn't understand why my mum would be in the background like, ugh, that man, ugh. And then as I grew up, I started realizing, oh, of course, the ego, the money, the womanizing, the really racist quotes, the quotes about looking down on people and how it gives him a sense of well-being and superiority. The stuff about him having familial roots in high-ranking places within the bad guys of WW2, and not only that, because you can't choose your parents, obviously, but to wear memorabilia from that time period that's illegal in most countries, to be proud of that, to just shove it in everyone's face. He was coming across as a really unlikable person in a lot of aspects, but because he was so famous and because he was well known and because he was doing interviews that made him look funny, people just didn't really notice the other stuff. 15 years ago, I did. Now, unbeknownst to my friend or anyone really, I kind of really looked into this guy. It was a huge thing. It was a whole spate of things that came out saying that they were going to expose him because he was nasty and whatever. Got involved, like reading it all and like, okay, I want to know about this. And so I'm kind of, it's old knowledge, but I did know more about him than say, your next door neighbor. He's an action star. He's now a governor. Anyway, so my friend writes this thing, and I don't know what happened. Like, I just wrote a comment on the bottom of it, and I wrote, okay, he's so into mental health. I wonder how much mental health his family has affected over generations or something. I don't know what I wrote. Something like that. And my midwit comes at me and copied and pasted the first thing he got out of Wikipedia, which was, I try to do the same thing. I Googled this person, and the first thing that comes up is the Wikipedia. And it's literally the first result, and the first 3 lines were copied and pasted in a comment back to me. And saying, and the rest of your comment about pictures of him wearing this thing is bullshit too. I guess I wrote something about the SS belt. Don't know what I said, but I know that I didn't mention directly what it was. I said questionable pictures of him wearing an item, something like that. These people have the whole backing of the internet to say something and sort of put it on you that you're a liar and saying something for no reason, because they can just grab the first search result in Google Skynet and just put it there, and then other people will see and go, oh, that person's weird. Why did they say that? Geez, I'm a fan of that person. Maybe I'll do a quick Google search. Oh, my friend was right. Oh, he's got some weird friends. My friend must be so smart. He knew all this stuff, and look, so many articles back up what he says. Because at the end of the day, it's a battle for the mind of the normie. And you've done it too. Sometimes it's nice to let someone think for you. You're busy, you're doing stuff, you're stressed out. And if you've got a midwit friend that you think is smarter than you, or maybe has the time to research this stuff, you're going to follow what that person says, and then you're going to think, oh wow, they were right. Look at all these things that back up what they're saying. Anyway, so back to this comment. After he writes that what I'd said was quote unquote bullshit, and meanwhile I've got the soy jack meme sources, in my head over and over, flashing over and over. What is this, 2011? Am I gonna go get sources and have this big discussion in a comment thread for no reason because nobody's gonna change their mind? Yes! I have a spare couple of hours. And I ended up not going on a full deep dive, but I remember off the top of my head some of the websites that I'd gone to way back when. And I punched them in, and some of them are still there, and that was cool, but they contained links to quotes and links to pictures that were no longer available. And when I went to Google the actual quotes and the things that I knew to be true because I saw them unfolding in real time, they were gone too. Google Skynet suppresses things. I mean, we know this. It's only just come out, the last little while, that the last 3 years of the corona farce, the tech giants were compelled by the American government to suppress some people, or as they say, de-amplify some accounts. And that means shadow banning, by the way. So when they tell you shadow banning was a conspiracy, it wasn't. It was just called something else. So that has come out. They admitted that. The tech giants, the tech companies were made to de-amplify some people and push certain narratives. So if you think Google Skynet, like the biggest search engine in the world, is not paid to do that as well, you're a special flower. So anyway, I go to get just a little bit of evidence. I'm not going to get involved in this bullshit, but I thought because he's a midwit, there is hope because he's got half-wit, And so I went and copied and pasted my own shit. And then I got a comment back saying something along the lines of, we're all aware of Alex Jones or something. I don't know. Which is a typical go-to line for these types. You know what I mean? It's as soon as they can't get their head around something to research it for themselves and they want to take the easy way out, the first thing is to insult you based on a radio show host from 20 years ago. Nah, mate, you had enough time to write back to me to try and call me out to start something. The least you could do is give me something formidable to counter. But you know how it is. When the normies, when the midwits bring out the Alex Jones insult, it means that if you keep and score, that you won. Just like I did, let it hang there. The ridiculousness of this soy jack comeback will speak for itself. And I've got no hard feelings. It's just a bit of banter to me. It's not even a big topic. It's something that I do not care about because it doesn't affect my life. I don't know why. I took a safari down the road of 2011 and went and argued with somebody on the internet. Ended as expected, It was good fun. But look, you've got to realize that if you're going to argue with anybody or have a discussion with anybody, your points of view, people that are listening to this, I'm going to just make an assumption, your points of view are the ones that are stifled and the ones where you're going to struggle to get anything instantly to show this idiot what is the truth, or where you're coming from, or why you think a certain thing. It's been stifled. And like George Orwell, 1984, like what's happening around you, the pulling down of statues, the erasure of history and of the truth means that people can't learn from it, and they can't go back and draw on experience and say, oh, maybe we'll do it differently this time. Oh, that happened, that was done this way, maybe we want to avoid that. And nothing like that anymore. And you're going to find that with prominent people now. The internet hides things. I mean, I know that there's the Wayback Machine, but we all learned that, what's her name, that Taylor, the 90-year-old reporter, whatever, her family owns that. They can erase certain things. People's past are going to be erased, so you don't know exactly who they are as well. And yes, links get old and websites no longer host certain things. Servers don't host certain websites anymore. I get it. But there is definitely suppression as well. A lot more of that now. I guess it's just a comment on telling you, look, leave them in the dust. Leave them in the dust. People are willingly ignorant. People are lazy. People are busy. And like with me, I don't even feel smug anymore when people come back to me years later and say, hey, I remember when you said this at dinner, which, I mean, I shouldn't bring up this shit at dinner, but anyway, I remember you said this thing at dinner, or my child had this adverse reaction to this thing, and I know that you've had a similar experience, and can you tell me about it? Or you said this thing, and oh my God, BPA is actually detrimental to us. I mean, I remember taking the piss out of you on social media like 10, 15 years ago. Yes, pat, there. Like I said, I don't even feel smug anymore. Let them have enough rope. That's what they've chosen. We're all adults here. I know it hurts when they're your friend, or they're mid-wits and you want to bring them up to speed, or they're normies and they're so cute you want to adopt one and save one, but just let them go. It's not worth your time. It's not worth your energy. Focus on you and your life. I'll be back. Don't want to be one of those people that's asking you to sub and like, but if you feel like commenting or liking, that would help me out. It'll give me the power to do more of these episodes.